Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're doing one thing that every Western Conference team should be excited for. So if you're a fan of a Western Conference team, this is the video for you to say one thing that you should be excited for coming into the season. I did this with the Eastern Conference yesterday. If you missed that, you can go back and check out that video. But today, we're doing the Western Conference here today. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. Alright, we're going to start this off with the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, I put you got better, meaning they were in the NBA Finals last year. They made a Finals run. It was amazing. And they got better this offseason. That's not something you see a lot from teams that just made the championship, especially with the new CBA and stuff. They got better. Brought in Klay Thompson, an NBA champion, Hall of Famer, guy that's going to come in and is going to eat next to Kyrie and Luka with the space he's going to have. All he's got to do is knock down his shots. They brought in Najee Marshall for a really nice contract, a guy that is a Swiss Army knife. I feel like a lot of playoff teams could use a guy like Najee Marshall. Brought in Quentin Grimes, a guy that is used to playing with the Knicks, where he was a 3-and-D type of dude, which is something that every playoff team needs. Even Spencer Dinwiddie is still solid. He can come in and give you a good 10, 15 minutes of good basketball. So the Mavericks going out and making a finals run and then getting better in the offseason, that's something you want from your front office. That's something you want. If you're a fan of a team, you're like, dang, this team, actually believes that they can do it. So you got to really be excited for the Mavericks coming in, being in the finals last year, and coming in with an even better team. Should be one of the top teams in the West. For the Nuggets, I put Nikola Jokic is still here. Denver, they did lose KCP this offseason. They're relying on a lot more young guys like Christian Brown, Payne Watson, guys that haven't really been in a position like this before, to step up and have some bigger roles and opportunities. And who knows how well that's going to go, especially with last year how the season ended. But at the end of the day, if you're in Denver, Nikola Jokic is still on your team. And he's arguably still the best player in basketball. And as long as he's on the court, you have a chance every night. He's one of those players where no matter who you have around him, if he's on the court, you're going to have a chance to win every night. So Nuggets fans, you should still be excited that you have probably the best player in the NBA, the best player in the world on your team still leading your team, still playing at a high level. And with he's on the court, you're going to have a chance every game to win. For the Warriors, I simply put Steph Curry. That's all I wrote. I wrote Steph Curry. This Warriors team is on the back end of their dynasty runs and all that stuff. That looks like it's behind them. Lost a lot of players. Klay Thompson's no longer here. Guys are getting older. With the Western Conference only getting better and better and better every year, the Warriors are kind of falling behind. But if you're a Warrior fan, sit back, and Stephen Curry is still on your team. Steph Curry, arguably the greatest point guard ever, still a top 10 player in the NBA. He's still on your team. And even if you guys are great or horrible, you're going to still be able to watch him play. And as long as he's there, you're going to have some great moments. He's going to win some games for you by himself. And honestly, I don't think this team is as bad as people are saying that it is. I don't think it's one of the best teams in the West, though, for sure. But as long as Steph Curry is still on your team, you should be excited that you get to watch one of the greatest players you've ever seen in the game still play. For the Rockets, I put youth improvement. The Rockets are just filled with a lot of young players. Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun are guys that have not gotten rookie extensions yet, and who knows what the future is, especially for Jalen Green. But Alperen Sengun had a really, really nice season last year. You expect him to get better. Jalen Green had a really good end to the season, so maybe he can come in next year and have that. But then you have so much other youth, so much more youth on the team. Amen Thompson had some big moments last year, and you assume he's going to improve this year. Cam Whitmore was a steal. He looks really good. Reed Sheppard, your 4th overall pick, looks amazing in summer. He looks like he's going to fit in. Tari Easton is still on this team. You have so much youth going around that somebody's going to improve. Some of them have to improve. And you should just be so excited that you have so many young guys on your team, and those guys are leading you to this level where now you look like you could maybe make a play-in appearance, which is not something they've seen in a while, in a couple of years. So just seeing the improvement of the youth should be something very, very exciting for Rockets fans. For the Clippers. Now, for the Clippers, this was a very, very hard one to do because there's not so much great. And then we just got the news about Kawhi Leonard. He might not be ready to start. There's a lot of not great. But a silver lining-ish thing in here, the expectations are gone. the last couple years with Kawhi and Paul George, and then bringing in James Harden, the expectations were really, really, really high, and they never hit those expectations. Now with Paul George gone, James Harden's on the back end of his career. Kawhi Leonard, we kind of know at this point, we're not. I don't know how often you could see a prime, healthy Kawhi Leonard anymore. There's not that much else going on. It's not like they have a young star in the making that's coming up as well. The expectations right now, no one's really expecting the Clippers to do anything. No one's expecting the Clippers to be a championship contender, or they're not even guaranteed a playoff spot right now with the way the Western Conference is. And that could be a good thing for the Clippers in a sense where all the expectations are gone. Now you kind of just go out there, you have a new arena and all that. I almost put that. I honestly almost put you have a new arena, but the expectations are gone. So you got to just go out there and whatever happens, happens. Maybe you see some players like Norman Powell or Mo Bamba, Chris Dunn, maybe Amir Coffey. Maybe someone takes a jump next year. Maybe you guys are better than expected. Maybe James Harden has a big season next year. Who knows? No one really cares about the Clippers anymore. There's no expectations there, which could benefit in a sense where it's like, all right, no one cares, no one's watching us anymore. All right, let's go out and show them. So that could potentially be an exciting thing this year, is that there's no more expectations. For the Lakers, I put continuity. This is like the second full year, but third year in a row where they're gonna have basically the same team: LeBron, AD, D'Lo, Rui, Austin Reeves. The guys from last offseason coming back. Like, there's continuity there, and the Lakers have not had that since they've gotten LeBron James. It's always been, all right, we have a team. All right, we lost. All right, scrap the team, bring in a new team. Oh, okay, we lost. Scrap that team, bring in a new team. Trade everybody to the trade deadline. That's how they got this new team, and now this is their second full offseason together, which could benefit them. Are they the best team or anything like that? No, but they still have some continuity there. They kind of know each other. JJ Redick's here now, where the Lakers are really, really, hyping him up a lot. So there's just continuity, and it's not like you need to learn, and they need to learn a whole new roster now. They're bringing in basically the same team from last season. So that could be a good, exciting thing for LA. But also, even if it's not that, you have LeBron James on your team. That also should be something really exciting. For the Grizzlies, I put everyone's back. The band is back together after last year, where John Morant only played 9 games. Desmond Bane played like 40 games. Marcus Smart came in and didn't really do much. There's just so many injuries and a lot of things going on where it's kind of like a quote unquote lost season a lot of people had for the Memphis Grizzlies. But now everybody's back. John Morant's back. Desmond Bane's back. Jaren is back in his role. Marcus Smart is here. Zach Edey's here now. Like, there's a lot of excitement with this Grizzlies team. When they were healthy, they were one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And now that Western Conference has changed a lot since they were near the top. But with this team back, you should just be excited for that. Just be excited that all these guys are back. You're finally going to see a full power, healthy Grizzlies team. And that alone should be very, very exciting. For the Wolves, I put the structure is here. This is the first time we've seen in a very long time where the Minnesota Timberwolves are competent and actually have some good things and some structure going on, since the Kevin Garnett days. You have Anthony Edwards, who that's also should be a guy you're excited about. Anthony Edwards going into year 4, I think year 4 or year 5. Like, that should be very, very exciting. You're bringing back the same team, a team that was just in the conference finals last year. You're bringing them all back together. Like, just having structure and having something that they know works. Kind of similar to what I said in the Eastern video about the Orlando Magic, where you have structure here, which is not something you have seen in a very, very long time. You know what's going on. You know who your players are. You know who your guys are. You know who coaches. You know what's going on. Now it's just about improving. But having structure and already having that right there, especially for a franchise that hasn't really seen that in a very long time, that should be very, very exciting if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. For the Pelicans, there were a couple things I thought about putting down, but I ultimately put down Zion Williamson is here. Last year was the healthiest year we ever seen from Zion. He did unfortunately have that injury in the play-in where he was having his best game maybe ever and missed the playoffs. But he's here. He's shown that he can have a healthy year, and honestly, he had a really underrated season last year. He didn't have eye-popping numbers or anything like that, but he had a really, really good season, especially in the back half of the year. So you have that. You see in the offseason, he looks like he slumped down a lot. Maybe he could be playing a lot more 5, which could unlock some things. Zion Williamson, the Zion that you were expecting when they drafted number 1 overall a couple years ago, is here now. And I'm hoping, praying that injuries don't come back. We can't guarantee that, but I just get a feeling that we're going to see a nice year from Zion again. Might be an all-star next year. But there's also a lot more things to be excited about for the Pelicans. You brought in DeJounte Murray. You have a lot going on. You have a lot of really good players. Is it all going to fit together? We don't know, but there's a lot of good players over there. But for New Orleans, I selected Zion Williamson is here. The star that you've been waiting for is here to play. The Thunder, I put number one seed, getting better. There's not anything you really should be mad about or not excited about if you're an OKC Thunder fan. You guys were the number one seed last year in the Western Conference when you had no business being, and you got better. You brought in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. You paid all your guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams, your big three, are still like 21 to 25 years old. So they should be getting better. Chet in year two, Jalen Williams in year three. Shai's a perennial MVP candidate. Like, there's nothing you shouldn't be excited for if you're an OKC Thunder fan. You guys have all the luxury in the world where you're so young, so good, bringing in all these good players, still have 35,000 draft picks in your back pocket for the future. There's so much to be excited for. But for me, I put number one seed getting better. You guys were the number one seed and you went out and you got even better, and you should be a favorite to win the Western Conference again. For the Suns, I put great offseason. The Suns had a pretty nice offseason. Brought in Tyus Jones and Monte Morris, guys that what they needed last year. They didn't have point guard play. Now they brought in two guys that are very, very good, steady, stable point guard, especially Tyus Jones. Also, the Mason Plumlee pickup, he's still a very solid backup big. They still have, they brought in some good offseason pickups, and just having a full offseason of Beal, Booker, and KD together. After last year, the disappointing last year, KD and Booker went to the Olympics. Bradley Beal had a very tough year. Hopefully, he should come back with a chip on their shoulder. It just feels like, the Suns, the more and more I look at the Suns, the more and more I think about the Suns, the more and more I can get talked into the Phoenix Suns having a good year next year. They brought in some really good players, have really good offseason. They brought in Mike Budenholzer, who can help with the coaching, especially on the offensive end. Like, the Suns should be a pretty nice team next year. I'm not saying they're going to be a number one seed or anything like that, but I think they're going to be a really good team and look a lot better next year. But for the Suns, you should be excited that you had a really good offseason, and this management and front office is still trying to, really commit to this new big three that they have. For the Blazers, this was surprisingly another tough team to kind of find one, but I put good youth. You guys have some good youth on this team. Scoot Henderson did not have the best rookie year. A little bit of a discouraging rookie season, but he's still only, 21 years old, so he has so much time to improve. Shane Sharp has had some really good moments. Unfortunately, he has not been healthy the last couple years, but he should be back coming into this offseason. Drafted Donovan Clingan, a guy who probably could be the center of the future for this team. Traded for Denny Avdia, who's still only 23 years old and had an amazing season last year. Then you have guys like Toumani Camara, Ryan Rupert, guys that, who knows, maybe they could pop off. So you guys have some good youth. Anthony Simons is still young. Who knows how long he's going to be on the team, but at least if he's out there on the court, he's going to give you 20, 22 points per game. So at least there's that. Like, you guys there's some good youth going on there. A lot of youth, some good youth, and should just be excited to see what these young players do next year. For the Kings, I put a lot of points, meaning that the Kings are going to score a lot next year. 2 years ago, they had that big breakout year in 23 where they're the number one offense. Last year, kind of dipped a little bit. But this year, that offense should get back up. DeMar DeRozan's here now. And DeMar DeRozan has been a consistent 21 to 25 points per game the last couple of years. And even though he's 35 years old, he still has shown that he can do that thing. He can still get in buckets and put up numbers. So that should just add so much to the offense. A guy that you could just say, all right, DeMar, go get us a bucket real quick, and he can do that. De'Aaron is still a 25-point scorer. Domantas Sabonis is still a really good offensive engine for a big man. Malik Monk is still one of the best six men in the league. Keegan Murray, year 3, should be an improvement. So you should be excited for a good offense. You should be excited. I was expecting the Kings to get back up there in the offensive rating. Do I think they're going to be number one? No, but I think they're going to be one of the higher scoring, powerful offenses. So at least you have some excitement there where you're going to see a lot of buckets and a lot of scoring at the least. For the Spurs, kept it pretty simple. Wemby, year 2. Victor Wembanyama, amazing, historic rookie year, and year 2 should be even better. And Spurs fans, I know, are excited, and they should be excited that we're going to see a year 2 Wemby. Already a year of experience, already doing what he did last year with his first experience being in the NBA. Now he's a full offseason to train like that. I mean, he probably will be an all-star, be in DPOY conversations and all that stuff again this season. And just, be excited about it. Very simple. And for the Utah Jazz, kind of similar to what I said about a couple other teams, there's a lot of youth around. A lot of youth around the Utah Jazz. You did pay Lauri Markkanen. He's still there. He's still like 27 years old. So it's not like he's at the end of his career or anything like that. He's still kind of in his prime. But then you have a lot of youth around him. You know, Keontae George, you guys, if you've seen the channel, you know I'm a big Keontae George guy. I believe he'll be a centerpiece of the future for this Jazz team. Taylor Hendricks going into year 2. You know, we'll see what he can do there. You got Bryce Sensabaugh going into year 2. See what he can do there. Cody Williams is here now. Walker Kessler is still young, depending on how long he's going to be on the team. I'm sure. I think there's one more guy. You draft Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, 2 guys that look like steals at that point. Like there's a lot of youth. Colin Sexton is still young. Who knows how long he's gonna be on the team, but he's still kind of young. Like there's just a lot of youth around this team, and that could be a good thing where Utah is trying to kind of rebuild and trying to find what the future is gonna look like. But you know, you should be excited that there's a lot of youth around, and very excited to see these young players go out and ball. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.